Right, so I'm here with Samina. Hi, Samina.
Yeah, what's the handshake about?
Yeah, so we've just been to a TIC meeting, which is great, and you're off to Colombia this week, which is why we're doing this now.
Yes.
Now, this is a series of videos about how people can tap into the Link4Growth platform, which is essentially a service for community, and help those projects to get more visibility, do more stuff, and actually get their message out there, because that's a massive problem. So you're working here, or have been up until now, with an organisation called TIC. Can you just tell us very briefly what TIC is?
So TIC is Transition in Kings Langley. If you've heard of the Transition Town movement, it's a national movement. It's actually an international movement now that started in Tottenham.
Okay.
Back in like 2006, I think it was, and they've started up this whole idea of grassroots action up for a sustainable community.
Yep.
So the idea is, what we want to do is live in a community where we care about the environment, we live in harmony with the environment, we also live in harmony with each other, and the idea is that we know that our resources aren't going to be there forever. So we look at energy, we've got different sort of, we call them petals because they kind of go in line with the green side of a transition town.
Yeah.
And the analogy is linked to different arms of our community, petals that look after different areas. So we've got people that look after energy, there's food, which actually involves a market, which is actually selling food that we've grown in a farm.
He's got a farm here as well.
Farm, and that's one of the biggest successes of TIC actually.
Yeah.
So with the vision of trying to provide food for everybody in transition in Kings Langley, and then growing outwards. And then we've also got now something that I started as People Petal, which is looking at how we make sustainable relationships. So as you work in community and you've got so much important things we're doing as grassroots action up, and we're talking about lobbying the government, we're talking about lobbying different groups around the area to try and get things more greener and care about the future. We also need to work on our relationships, because actually that's massively important, because tensions or different ideas of how we can do things and all those sorts of things come up, as they do naturally in any community. And so now we're looking at people as well and how we make those sustainable.
I mean, resilience in relationships is massively important, because I know from Link4Growth, and I know through TIC here in the conversations that we've had, that people come into an organisation, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of excitement. You get people who are more capable of expressing their ideas, and you get people who are less so. And what happens is then the people that are less so end up feeling disenfranchised, because the people who are more powerful in terms of expressing themselves dominate, and then you get people sliding out off the chart, and the whole thing kind of just doesn't move forward, which is kind of one of the problems that they've got. But not only that, there's also challenges in getting the message out there. So what I wanted to do was just, because I've been involved in a few of these meetings now, just to get an idea of what they do at TIC, but there's lots of good stuff that they've been doing over years, and no one knows. It's like it's just like bloody kept secret, and the people in the club know all about it. Well, those that are still here, and the people that are outside the club never get to hear anything, because there's nowhere to put this information. So what I wanted to do was just on this video, and we can share this amongst the group, is just talk about the different parts of Link4Growth and how TIC could, for nothing, essentially tap into a service which is here to do good work and help these people make more of what they're doing. So we've got, and we've talked about setting up a coffee event somewhere closer, and that's still going on. And actually, the fact that the one that we initially thought, but we're thinking of Hunton Bridge, which is not too far away, and actually we could start, so people can actually come out and have a meeting with other people in the community and start to tell people about what they're doing. But also they can meet themselves, and they can have a conversation which is not in an organised meeting, but just talking about, and that improves their relationships, which comes back to what you were talking about a bit earlier. So that's one thing, and actually being out and about, people get to it's a different feeling.
Yeah,
Then,
actually, I think that would be a great idea, because I can see the parallels of, there's that synchronicity thing where you just serendipitously meet, I can't even say the word, but you meet each other and you kind of end up saying, I've been looking at trying to do something in the garden, and I don't know how to do it, like grow my own vegetables or whatever. And there's also that thing around people always kind of meet people that they need to meet at the right time. So I'm going down that level today. And that, I think, so going into that community feel and understanding what the community is saying when they're all out together is a really important thing. So that's a great way that would fit in. nicely to what it needs to do to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And you, I know, have written an article about the People Petal that went into the Parish magazine. But they basically tick right a number of articles. They've written them for years, but they've popped them up on the parish church notice board. Some people walk past, some people, most people don't. Where else can that information be shared so that people who are interested can go and find out? Now, I know that Transitioning Kings have got a website, but we've also got a way of sharing blogs and posts in both communities on Google, but also we've got a blog, and actually it's interesting, useful information. So it's a bit think newspaper, but where the people are providing the reports. Well, that's another area where we can just put that information, and more people could just find stuff out about it. We also went down the farm the other week and we did a little video for the community TV. Now, all of that stuff should be shared on every single person's Facebook page. It's gone on to the Facebook page for Link4Growth, but why aren't all the people in TIG sharing it and sharing it with their friends and sharing it with us so that everyone can see what they're up to? That's another massive object. Also, we've got a sustainability channel now for Link4Growth, and actually I was talking to the transition people in Bristol. They've got loads at Bristol Pound, they've got loads of initiatives down there, and they've got this, they've already done it. They know, we now got the contact names of the people who ran those projects. They've got blueprints. Why aren't we making those blueprints available through Link4Growth so that people like here in transition can adopt some of those ideas? Not all of them, but some of those ideas will be just as relevant here as they were down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as we start to build a national platform, we can start to share this information, because to be honest, transition in Abbots and transition in Watford are way behind what's going on in Kings Langley. And whereas the people in Kings Langley are saying this isn't going fast enough, they've gone much, much further than the other ones. So we need to bring all of them together so they can start sharing their knowledge. And actually, if you get a group of 3 transition movements working together, how much more powerful would that be than just one on their own?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think having a platform where everyone can share information, one single place, is great, because not only is it the transition network that can facilitate that, you'd also have all the other communities that Link4Growth actually capture. So there's a massive catchment area. So many different types of communities that would be interested in each other. So that's the thing that I see is really key, because I think in transition towns, yes, there is some cross collaboration, but actually the biggest thing is the other communities and tapping into all the others that exist. There's so many out there.
Absolutely.
We haven't got one place where they can all talk, and that's, I think, Link4Growth.
Well, talking in Bristol with a guy called Chris Bettles, and he was saying, although it's called the Transition Network, actually it's not a network at all. The people are very isolated, and they just do their bit and never the twain meet. And it's almost like, well, actually, we need to make it a network.
Well, they do share resources.
Yeah.
They've got a very good resource. So when I set up People Petal, actually, it was something that came out from internally because of just the work that I do around people and relationships. And then when I looked on their website, they had a whole load of inner transition, they call it, resources. So they do have stuff, but I think you're right, they don't have the communication with each other. It's not a...
So that's a star shape. That's a star shape.
This is what works in our community, whichever town it is, and then they share that information. But you're right, there isn't a two-way communication or conversation.
Or a cross-fertilisation between different transition groups that are set up. So, and there's also skills. So I know that generally, and this is a fact, it's an observation, that actually there's a lot of people in transition who are of an older generation because they have more time, and actually a lot of them don't have the skills. So Link4Growth has a whole skills platform to teach people how to use Google, Facebook, Twitter and all that. They could just tap into that. It's very inexpensive to do so, but being part of Link4Growth, they get access to all this for free, a lot of it. So it's a real good thing there. But the other thing I wanted to just briefly mention was this talk of getting like the younger generation involved. And of course, they're much, much more green and sustainable thinking already. Now, what we need to do is go into the schools, these are the younger schools, and actually ask these students, why is it they want to look after the planet? And it's going to be as simple as this. Well, if you're polluting the place where you live, that's not a good idea, is it? It's the most simple thing. Hang on, I'm breathing air and I'm putting poison into it. Surely that's not a good idea. And when the kids say that, it's like, we explain it like a 5-year-old. Yeah, because a 5-year-old can understand that. It's not a good idea. Now, when you start getting those kids, if they can come on a TV show, all the other kids in the school will watch it. Then all the parents will watch it. Then all the kids in the school next door will watch it. And they'll say, why aren't we on TV like those other lot? And gradually you just raise the whole profile, and then guess what? Those people will come down the farm because they'll know how they can participate and they can do something of real value. And that's what's needed. But we need to do that through the TV thing. We need to get the schools involved. And I think rather than go in there trying to tell them what transition is, if we go in there and say, why do you love sustainability? Why do you love the planet? And what's your thinking and thoughts on that? That's a whole more, but it will end up bringing people into transition.
Yeah, lovely.
So these are just thoughts, but I just sort of wanted to sort of share on video with you before you disappear off to Colombia.
Do wild organic farming, by the way. I'm going to bring that back into the UK potentially.
So I just wanted to share, because this will go up on the TV channel, but then we can share it amongst the group here and actually just start to explore the potential for us working more closely and for actually people here to start using the platform.
Well, from a personal perspective, what excites me about Link4Growth and what you do and why is because I'm being accessed into more communities that I'm interested in. So I'm finding that this would raise awareness for TIC, yes, absolutely. And there's other things, there's other interests, and there's people that you speak to, and you end up getting support for if you're a local independent business, because of what Link4Growth stands for, supporting the local businesses rather than going to the big conglomerates, which is fantastic, and that goes, with sustainability, because it's talking about working with all your community. And so for me, it was like I tapped into all these different things, and I started going, I can get my local honey from the lady that I met at the Link4Growth. It's great, she's got bees in local Watford. Fantastic. There's just so many different things that you meet people. So it's not even just about having your own perspective.
Objective,
I want to grow TIC, which is actually that is an objective, because I think it's people are interested in it, and like you said, they don't know about it. But there's so many other things. When you meet people, that's when things happen. And so what I love about this is I'm already hearing about the educational side. There's so many things that I've got interests in, and Link4Growth has helped me go, this is where I can inject my
explore things,
explore things and meet people that are interested, and we just don't have that at the moment. I've never had anything like that, so this is really special, and I love what you're doing, and I'd love to get the organisation more involved.
And I saw Jeremy this morning, who's involved here, and Jeremy's also working with time banking in Kingsland. So that's a whole lot. I said to him, we've got to talk, because that's another facet which could just explore into a whole load of other areas, because they're going to be working with businesses and with charities and all sorts, where people are just sort of sharing their time, and that's fabulous too. Anyway,
thank you so much.
You've got a plane to catch. No, not today.
Not today. No, I'm feeling a bit more rushed. Time to go right now.
Well, lovely to just have to catch you before you go and to share this moment. So good luck on your travels.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Cheers.